welcome back to Anime Hour. Today we have a special anime about, so y'all stay tuned. Again, ignore the skipping. For some reason, TikTok makes my videos skip. It's really annoying, but it's not really nothing I can do about it. But today we're talking about Naruto. I even got my little Itachi and Sasuke shirt on today. You know, I ain't got no work talking about Naruto probably for like the next 10 minutes. So Naruto is an anime that is very interesting because it was one of the first anime that I started seeing around my elementary school when I was in, I want to say fourth grade, or do I want to say third? I'm gonna go with third, when I was in third grade, because I had went to an all-black private school in third grade, and then I ended up switching over to a white elementary school. And I remember going outside during recess, and there were a whole bunch of kids, and there was like a playground, and behind the playground was this giant field, and I remember seeing all the kids running around talking about Ice Clash Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and it was pretty freaking interesting. I didn't fully know what they were talking about at that time. And then I remember later on seeing a kid in the lunchroom, probably a week or two, a month, I don't know what the time period was, but it was around that same year where I seen a kid with a Shonen Jump comic. And I remember him reading Naruto and talking about Naruto. And I wasn't really fully into Naruto yet. I was about 9 years old. I didn't really fully know what it was yet. And then in around fourth to fifth grade is when I started seeing Naruto on Toonami, and I started really watching it and getting really into it. As I used to watch anime all the time, but it was kind of still new. This is like when Naruto was kind of new, you know, when they first started showing it. And over time, I remember seeing it on Toonami, and I had this friend, right? I had this one friend. He was a black dude. We were the same age. He's dead now, rest in peace. I used to go to his house sometimes, and I had this like exciting feeling. Every time I went to his house, I was like super excited. I don't know what it was. I like really enjoyed going to his house when I was a little kid for whatever reason. But I remember going over there, and this was in like fifth or sixth grade. Well, actually, no, it was a little bit later on. It was a little bit later on. I want to say seventh, eighth grade. He was watching Naruto Shippuden in sub. It was like the third episode of Naruto Shippuden in sub, meaning it was brand new. He was the first kid that I knew that knew how to go online and watch anime on the computer. Pretty mind blowing. I'm 28. This is back when I was like probably like 11 or so, right? So that was kind of mind blowing back then because you didn't see a lot of kids doing it. He was like the first person to do that, and he was the first kid that was watching Naruto Shippuden. He was so hyped about it. He was telling me about it. I remember going to his house. He was just sitting in the chair watching it. I mean, bro was so hyped about it. He was kind of zoning me out, low key. That's how much he liked it, you know. And he was one of the first ones that was really put on to Naruto Shippuden. Like he was the first person that I knew that watched Naruto Shippuden when it was like airing, when it wasn't airing, when it was brand new, like just came from Japan, right? I watched it when it was on Disney XD. This also lets you know how old I am because I watched Naruto Shippuden on Disney XD when it was kind of first airing, and they were pretending like it was an original series, right? But I do have a vague memory of me and this little white blonde-haired friend I had. I remember me and him staying up watching the Naruto versus Sasuke fight and eating popsicles. I remember that as a kid, and that was like the first fight they had when they first fought in the valley when they were kids. I remember us watching that. So Naruto was pretty big in my life, and that, you know, I watched it a lot like throughout the years too, and I would watch it like on Toonami and stuff like that. You know, so it lets you know how big it was. Naruto was one of those bigger anime, and it was weird because it was like Naruto took off. Like Naruto became bigger than Dragon Ball Z, and back Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon were like the biggest two anime when I was a kid, and Naruto literally passed both of them up for a couple of years. It was like bigger than Dragon Ball Z, not as big as Pokemon, but bigger than Dragon Ball Z it was blowing my mind. And to this day, it still technically is bigger than Dragon Ball Z, sales wise, probably, or probably got lower. Who knows? All I know is like when you go on YouTube, there's more views to Naruto videos. Again, I am a big Dragon Ball Z fan. That's one of my first anime that I watched all the time as a kid. But Naruto really was like giant and iconic, you know, and it was just crazy. I mean, you would really literally see kids running around, you know, doing jutsus and stuff like that. And then what else do I have to say about it? When I started getting older is when I started deciding that I wanted to watch it all the way through myself. Because I would watch it sometimes, like I would come home from school, it'd be like 4 o'clock, it'd be on TV. That was when I was around in 7th grade or so. When I was a little bit older. It used to come on like 4 o'clock, like the old school Naruto. It was on Maguzi too with Bobo and Code Lyoko. Y'all probably too young to know what Maguzi is. It was a cartoon block, kind of like an anime block on Cartoon Network. And you know, Code Lyoko is kind of like it's kind of an anime because it has like a dub and a sub and stuff like that. I can't remember where it's from though, but Code Lyoko is my thing. I love Code Lyoko. But when I got older, I started realizing that Naruto had like a lot of similarities to other anime. Like when I got into Hunter x Hunter when I was like 21, I started seeing that Naruto is really a love letter to a lot of different mythologies and Japanese culture and Chinese culture kind of like mixed together. It's literally a love letter to different anime shows because every character has some type of inspiration from some other character in anime. For example, Sasuke Uchiha right here is a mix of Kurapika, he's a mix of Hiei, he's a mix of Vegeta, and he's a mix of Killua combined into one. And even in his own show, he literally copies other people's style of fighting, which is kind of the whole point of the Sharingan. You know, but I mean, he literally copies Rock Lee's fighting. He copies Gaara's standing upside down to intimidate your foes thing. I mean, he literally steals a lot of his style and swag. You know, I mean, Amaterasu is similar to Hiei's Black Dragon Flame. I mean, he has the whole red eyes, just like Kurapika, magical red eyes that everybody wants. But there was a time where I kind of didn't like Naruto because it was like they would just like glaze it so hard, and I'd be like, bro, like chill out. Like every person you talk about with anime would like glaze it so hard, it's like not even funny. I remember talking to a girl in a car one time, like a Lyft. She was my Lyft driver, and I was telling her how like Naruto wasn't really my personal favorite of all time type of anime, and she like kept cutting me off and wouldn't let me finish talking because she was like glazing it so hard. I'm just like, bro, like calm down, bro. Even though over the years my love for Naruto has kind of went up and down, I found a love for it again when I played Ninja Storm 4, Road to Boruto, because I was playing the game and I was looking at Obito's backstory. Obito's backstory is one of my favorite backstories in anime of all time, and that game flows really smoothly to the point where it made me want to go back and watch